Welcome to a slow flow, quick fix yoga leg stretches. A block or two and a blanket could be nice to have if you would like. So let's come on down onto our backs and bring the knees into the chest. I'm going to use a blanket for my head to be extra comfortable. This class will be mainly down low for our lunges and front and back of the hips, and perhaps we'll get to one downward facing dog. Let's take the knees into the chest and just hugging it all the way in, and see if we can get the sacrum down towards the mat rather than pulling the knees in and kind of putting pressure on the lower back. We'll see if we can have the legs slightly forward and having a nice even upward facing child's pose with sacrum down, very active. There might even be a lift in the lower back. We'll stay right here and then take our right knee into the chest and the left leg comes forward. Pavanmuktanasana, knee to chest pose. Plugging the right femur in and stretching that left leg out through the hip flexors and the quadriceps. And getting a really good awareness into the feet, so you can activate your feet and feel the four corners of your feet. Inner edge of the foot, big toe, inner heel, pinky toe side, and then the outer edge of your heel area. Get those nice and organized, and that will affect like how this stretch goes into the ankle and the knee and the hip. Let's take your right leg up to the sky and hands around the hamstrings. Just getting a nice big long leg up to the sky and rooting the femur down and extending out against all of that at the same time, and getting ourselves a few breaths deep into the hamstrings. And walking our hands up towards the ankle, elbows out to the side, head towards the knee, extending and lifting and hugging in all at the same time. We'll stay here for one more breath. And exhale, bring it back down, take your knee in. We'll stay with the same leg. Right arm inside your right leg, hands on the pinky toe side for half happy baby. The left hand stays down onto the left quad and helping the hips to be even. So we don't want to roll over to one side. We want to stay all the way down. So maybe the leg is here. Maybe the hands is around the hamstrings. Half happy baby. We have a nice lift for the head and the neck. We'll stay one more breath. Activate the stretch all the way out to the four corners of our feet, and then maybe we'll take that right leg and extend it out and getting a nice big side extension. Persva Supta Parangustasana. Inhaling and exhaling, pressing out through the mounds of the big toes. Keep your left leg down, anchor it down, and then gently coming back in with your knee into half happy baby, and then bending it all the way in and switching sides and bringing everything back in together, and then taking the right leg out and the left knee into the chest, knee to chest, heel down, toes up, and taking the left leg up to the sky, hands around the hamstrings, and then we'll get the hamstrings down by pressing down on our arms with our hands on the hamstring group, and maybe arranging the hips slightly so the hips and the shoulders are neatly stacked above and below each other, even if we are in a supine form. Let's walk the hands up towards the ankle, elbows out to the side, lift the head up, extend your right leg, press out through the four corners of your foot, right foot and left foot. And gently rolling yourself back down. Bend your knee in, and then we'll take left arm inside and take your left hand outside the foot and come to half happy baby pose. Right palm onto the right leg, and the left knee comes towards the shoulder, armpit area, external rotation, anchoring down the right leg and the right hip, and getting a nice long stretch through that hip flexor on the right side, and opening and lengthening into your left hamstring grip. Take your left leg out to the side. Supta Parangustasana to the side. The right leg stays down and the left leg extends out. We can certainly have the hand underneath the hamstrings. There might be a strap involved. If you are a seasoned practitioner, you might have a strap handy by and use it up. One more breath right here. And then gently bend your knee back in and take your knee to the chest and extending your legs out. Taking your legs wide, taking your thumbs, hooking them over, and just getting a nice full body stretch, maybe zigzagging your hips a little bit this way and that way. And exhale, bring the knees back into the chest and take happy baby pose with both legs. Knees towards the shoulders, four corners of the feet are stacked up towards the sky, towards your ceiling, and the sacrum wants to roll down and the lower back wants to slightly open up, and there is where we have that nice stretch into adductors that goes all the way down to the knees and just aligns the hips and the knees, and really the whole spine will stay. Another breath right here, and gently bringing it all the way back in, hands underneath the knees. Then let's roll all the way up and let's come to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your blankets away and make space for your downward facing dog, and then from there we'll come into some of our lunges. So just a nice big long downward facing dog, pressing the heels down, moving about the right heel and left heel. Should feel pretty good for the back of the legs after what we just did. Step your right foot outside your right hand onto your mat for protection. Take your left knee down, and we have the hands inside the foot and the back knee is down. More front and back of the legs, a little differently this time, a little bit more weight bearing. So hang out right here. You can certainly take your blocks underneath your hands, or you can take your one block for maybe the forearms if you would like to, and put forearms onto the block, adjusting, inhaling and exhaling. Shoulder blades down on the back. We'll stay one more breath right here. You can tuck the back toes under from here and extend your knee and get more muscle involvement. Low lunge. Forearms or hands down. Inhale and exhale. And hands on a block or left hand on the floor. I'm going to suggest a block to get a little extra lift for our first twist. Take your right hand onto your sacrum. Lift your right arm up to the sky. Take the gaze up. Sinking maybe the right hip down and lifting the belly all at the same time. And exhale, take it all the way back down. And we'll leave the block in the front, stepping back and pedaling in towards your heels, into the back of the legs, into the hips. Left foot outside your left hand. Take your right knee to the mat and give yourself a few breaths right here. Breathing into your right hip flexor, into your right quad. And maybe we're feeling it also in that left hamstring and adductor side. Few breaths. Inhale. Let's say one more breath, and then we'll come down onto the forearms. Maybe you're down on the mat. Maybe you have a block. Whatever we need to support. Pull the belly button in. Tuck the back toes under, and you have an opportunity to lift your back knee off here and coming into a full body hold, like firing up all of the muscles, hugging all the way in and extending out from there. We'll stay a few breaths here. And hands to the block. Leave your right hand onto your block and take your left hand to your hip. Your back knee is lifted, crescent twist, left arm up to the sky. Few breaths right here. And exhale, take it all the way back down. Take the block to the side. Take your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhaling, exhaling. Feet to hands. Take ragdoll, hand in each and elbow. Top of the head towards the mat. Relax and release into your neck. Swaying side to side, lifting your sacrum, keeping the knees slightly bent. And release the hands down and come all the way down to a seat. Come to Upavishta Konasana, feet wide apart, legs wide angle, and we can definitely sit on a blanket. I like to have it just slightly tipped underneath the sit bones. So feet wide apart, taking our right hand down and left arm up and over. So the hand can be inside, it can be outside. You can come over to your foot or to your big toe. And then we'll come over to the side and digging into the hip, into the side body. Heels are down, four corners of our feet are active. And gently bringing it all the way up to the center and switch second side. So again, maybe the left hand is inside, maybe it comes outside or reaches to your ankle or your foot. Taking the top arm up and over, full extension, heels down. Opening up the pathway in the whole side body so that the legs get some good, juicy, healthy blood flow and feels connected to the upper body. We'll stay one more breath. And then gently come all the way back up, hands behind, and close your legs in, taking them all the way in, squeezing it in, and coming into twist with our right ankle over your left knee, and the left heel comes in, and we'll take a few side to side for our fish pose twist, taking it up and over. And then we'll come back to side angle. This time, take your left arm up and your left elbow outside your right knee. Take your right hand behind you, twisting and turning, side body, waist, lower back, the entire spine. One more breath here. And exhale, come to the center and switch sides with your right leg underneath you, turned in and bent, and the left foot right by the left knee. And then from here, taking our right arm up and over, full side stretch and second side. And taking it all the way back up to the center with the right arm and lifting, pulling belly and elbow over the left knee, twisting and turning. Take your left hand and put it right into that center of your spine, like a hand length, a foot length away. Twisting and turning, sit bones down, looking over your left shoulder. One more breath right here. And gently come all the way back to the center. And then we'll take our legs back out to Upavishta Konasana and come to a twisty side angle. So here we are sitting fully down, and maybe we'll just lift and twist and hold it here. We're going to leave the left leg back and take our hands over to the knee, to the side, or maybe it reaches out towards the foot, elbows out to the side. Some of you might even have a block outside of your foot. So take whatever feels the best and reach out through the left leg, through the four corners of your foot. Hinge and fold, head towards the knee, or the gaze can be forward, making sure that we're anchored in a seat and getting a nice, deep, but yet gentle stretch into the left side body, into the left lower back, and most likely all of our legs, the whole parts. One more breath, and then inhale, take it up, left arm up, come to the center, take a pause, and then turn towards the left leg. And we're just going to simply hinge our way forward, and maybe we'll sit upright, maybe we'll twist ourselves forward, take our hands over to the foot, elbows out to the side, sink your right sit bones down, inhale and exhale, press out through the right four corners of your foot, Take your head towards your knee and get into that nice deep part in the lumbar lower back area on the right side. Inhale and exhale. And slowly bringing it all the way back up, and hands underneath, and close our legs, and we'll come to another downward facing dog, please. Pedal our legs all the way out. Right heel down, left heel down. Inhale and exhale. And then we can take the blanket to the side in case you, like me, still had it onto your mat. Step the right foot between the hands and take your left knee down. And we're just going to go a little bit back and forth here, nice and slow. And kind of checking in to see how it feels for the front, for the back of the right leg. Heel down, toes up. And then last one, we're going to end up in a Ardha Hanuman with the right heel down, and the right hand comes out, and we twist and turn. So take the left shin and the left arm to hug into each other, and the right hand to the sacrum, and then we lift and twist from there, and take the right arm up to the sky. Like a low lunge, Parivrtta Trikonasana version. Hugging the midline in, and then exhale, taking it back down, and come forward. And then we'll switch back to down dog, and second side. Left foot between the hands, take your right knee down, and then we'll come forward, and we'll go back. Heel down, toes up, and come forward, and exhale, bringing it back. And we'll do a few more times. Anjasana into Ardha Hanuman. Last one. Bringing it forward and taking it all the way back. Heel down, toes up, right hand crosses over. So you have your right lower arm and your lower leg hugging into each other. Full activation onto your left foot, and the left hand comes to your sacrum. We twist and turn and bring that left arm up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. Twist and turn, hug the midline, stay in our center, and exhale, bring it all the way back down. Come forward, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Take your feet over to the hands. Take your hands underneath your feet. Hasta Padasana. Give yourself a nice massage with your feet on top of your hands. Palms are facing up, elbows to the side, top of the head towards the mat. And gently come all the way back down and have a seat, please. Take the block with you, and we'll take a fish pose, and then we'll add the legs to that as well and get into the quads. Then we'll do a little forward bend, and then we'll take a little Hanuman version of different kinds. So let's take our block right below the shoulder blades, above the kidneys. So it's in that upper back where it's a little, sometimes stiff upper back. We'll take it into that space and make it nice and bendable and fluid. Take the head up and over. You can stretch your legs forward, and you can have it the lower way, or you can have it the medium way, flipping the block. So again, it's right below the shoulder blades, upper, middle, back, and it's way above the kidneys. We'll stay another 2 breaths here and enjoying our back bend. And gently take the hands by the head, lifting all the way up and coming back up from there. And some of us are going to keep the block here for Virasana quad stretch. So here we are with our legs forward. Take our right leg to the back and coming down maybe onto a block or onto the forearms. Press all of the 5 toes down onto your right foot into your mat, and the toes are facing towards the shoulder or towards the front or back of the mat, so that we have our foot in a nice straight way. And maybe we'll stay right here, maybe we'll come down, maybe we'll take our hands over the head and find the elbows and get a full quad stretch, like a cleanse for the quadricep and the hip flexor. And a little reset for our toes and our ankles and the knee. I'll stay another breath here. And gently bringing it back in and taking ourselves back up to a seat, switching sides, taking the left knee and turning it back so that we have it in half hero's pose, Virasana. And the left toes are straight back, the knee is forward, the 4 corners of our feet are activated, and then from there we'll come down onto our forearms, lifting the buttocks, and the tailbone goes straight down to the inner heel of the right foot. Halfway, full way, we'll take it to wherever we are. Hands might come over the head, or we might still be in a seated version. And then we'll just stay right here. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then take the hands to the side. Find your forearms and come back to upright and take your left leg forward. I'm going to take a block. Maybe you'll take a block too and put in front of our feet as a little platform. Maybe we'll use that. And then from here, take the arms up to the sky and get a nice big full seat and a nice big full stretch through the whole spine. Sit bones are down. Bring the rib cage in, and then we can hinge and fold forward. And certainly the hands can be on the side. We might have a strap, or we might just take the big toes, the side of the feet. Or if you put the block in front of your feet, and this is something that you are eager to do, then take your hands around the block and get like a different version of Paschimottanasana, forward fold. A little bit more for the calves, sometimes a lot more for the calves. Elbows to the side, the whole back side of the body. Inhale and exhale. And gently come all the way back up from here. Take the block to the side. Cross your ankles. Take downward facing dog. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Down dog should feel much more at ease than the very first one that we took. Step the right foot between the hands. Take your left knee down. Extend your right leg. Take a block underneath your hamstrings, maybe 2 blocks. Maybe you have your blocks for your hands instead. Hanuman will take the right leg forward and take your hamstring group onto the block and maybe press into the block and lift up. Back toes can be tucked, hands can be on the quad, and we'll push it down and extend into the back. And breathe some lovingly breaths into those right hamstrings and extend your arms maybe up to the sky. Maybe you have your hands on your hips. Lifting, inhaling, exhaling, and gently bringing it back down and switch second side. We'll just take the block over to the left side and take our left leg forward and extend the front leg and hinge and fold forward. And making our way over to our Hanuman onto the left side with the left hamstrings onto our block, and tuck the back toes under. Maybe we press and root down the left femur and lifting the heart, shoulder blades down on the back, active four corners of our feet, and maybe the arms comes up and over, squeezing the arms around the ears, inhaling and exhaling, and slowly bringing it back down, hands to the inside, and then we'll bend the knees and take the block to the side. I'm going to take this a little bit out to the side because we're going to need some space on each side on the front of the mat for Funky Hanuman, our last pose before we close it up. Let's take a couple of cat-cows and just arch the spine. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Expand the spine to the sky. Hollow upper arm bones and extend all the way up. And gently come to tabletop, plug the upper arm bones, pull the belly in, and come to downward facing dog. From here, take your right foot outside your right hand and left knee down on the mat. Extend back into your Ardha Hanuman, half split pose. Pigeon toe your right foot in and arch the spine up to the sky. Freeing up lower back, hips, and then we'll take that right leg out at an angle onto the floor, beyond the mat, and come to adductors. So it's not hamstrings on the front leg, it's adductors and hip flexors and full release for the hips. Maybe we'll stay here. Some of you might lay down. We'll just have a good time right here, tucking the back toes under. And we'll stay another breath, left side, right side, and then gently come back in. Down dog, please. Downward facing dog. And left foot steps outside of your left hand. Take your right knee down and extend your left leg. And then we pigeon toe the left foot and come to an internal rotation with the left leg and pull the belly, and then we shoot that left leg out to the side so we land on our adductors on the left side and hip flexors and quad on the right side. So we get to those adductors on the left side, hip flexors on the right side. And we'll just enjoy a nice big full leg and hip stretch right here. One more breath. And then exhale, release. We'll take it back up and step back, downward facing dog. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Press the palms, press the feet, extend. Hug everything in and extend out all at the same time. Let's walk your feet to the hands. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. And come all the way down onto a seat. Heels down, roll ourselves down, vertebrae by vertebrae. From here, come to shoelace pose with our right leg over the left, and then we'll just squeeze everything back into the midline after that big, different kind of extensions of the legs. And then we'll just reset the hips. Sacrum is down. There's a gentle pressure onto the shins. Maybe you have your hands by ankles, maybe by the shins, maybe there's a strap. Upward facing Gomukhasana or shoelace pose. Sure looks like shoelace. We'll give ourselves a few breaths right here. And putting your left foot down, keeping the right leg crossed, press the head and lift your hips up and come to twisting, turning, supine twist right here. Arms out and relaxed. IT band, iliac crest, lower back, organs. Just bring all kinds of health and vitality to the body by all these different yoga poses. And then we'll undo the legs and come back to the center. Sacrum down and left side. Take your left leg high up on your right. Come to an upward facing Gomukhasana pose. Hands either by ankles or feet or shins. We get to squeeze the midline and stretch into the IT band on the side of the hip down to the knee. And squeeze the adductors back together after being stretched in our external rotations. Sacrum is down. There might be a slight lift in the lower back and like a reset for the whole spine. And then release. Take your right foot down, press your right foot and your head, lift your hip and come over onto the right hip, supine twist. Inhale and exhale. Twisting and turning into the whole left side and just kind of resetting the body. We'll stay for one more breath. And then gently undo the legs and come on to your back, feet on each side of the mat, and we'll come to our beloved windshield wiper, side to side to side, which is another opportunity to just kind of plug in all of the different leg stretches that we just did, kind of plug them in to its right and whole place. And then from there, take the knees into the chest, hands underneath the knees, and we roll ourselves up and come to a comfortable seat. Maybe it feels really good to sit up, and maybe the hips are nice and open, knees are free and easy to bend, and it feels good to just have that nice openness into the legs. I hope you feel the same. Let's take a few moments to just sit together and close our practice. Closing our eyes, maybe pulling the hands in so the elbows and the shoulders are stacked above and below each other. The ears can pull back. Sealing each and every pose just by sitting. Creating a nice, peaceful internal side of our body. Bringing our hands to our heart, closing our practice with an Om if you'd like to join. A nice gentle Om from this gentle yet pretty therapeutic and deep practice. We'll close it up with an Om. We'll take a nice comfortable inhale. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice, and I hope to see you in the next video. And I'm also inviting you to lay down flat onto your mat for a Shavasana to let all of the different poses that we did find its right place into our joints and ligaments and tendons in maybe a whole new way for the legs, like a little update for the legs. So I'll meet you in Shavasana, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Namaste. Thank you again.